Hey friends! So today, before we get started with our video, I just want to go ahead and put it out there. This video is going to make some people mad. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. People have very strong feelings about what we're going to do today. And they're not very reserved in sharing those strong feelings. Anytime I have even mentioned this topic, I get some very angry responses. In the future, if you're looking at the comments of this video, some comments may not be very happy, and that's okay. Today, we're going to talk about cold brooding chicks. Now, if you've never heard of this phrase before, don't feel bad. I didn't hear about it until a couple months ago, and I was just researching how do you raise chickens off-grid with no electricity at all. People will put on there no heat lamp needed or no this, but they're still using like an electric brooder. We don't really have that option. Yes, we have solar. Yes, we have a generator. But in order to keep that powered, we would literally have to run our generator 24/7 for weeks. That's not happening. That's not the way we live life. So, we're trying to figure out a different way to make this work and to fit our off-grid lifestyle. Because we need chickens here. And you gotta get them started somehow. Cold brooding chicks is brooding chicks without any electric source of heat. That means no heat plates, no heat lamps, none of those little heat boxes that you plug in and they act like a broody hen. None of that. We're not using any of that. What we are using is a wind-free environment to keep drafts off of them, and containers to hold hot water to produce radiant heat. And we'll be building a hen box, which is a box that is lined with reflective material so the chickens can huddle in there and it will reflect their body heat back to them. The only inputs we will be putting into this to keep it warm are refilling the water with hot water. I know a lot of people who have done this have used like old Folgers coffee cans, and I actually have one of those, like a big one. So I'll probably be using that, and I may use a glass half-gallon mason jar. And then I will fill those up with hot water before we leave to go get our chicks from the post office when they arrive. They're due in like 10 days. Go ahead and let them start radiating heat in the chicken tractor. We'll go get our chicks and bring them back. Then, throughout the day, probably about every 4 hours, I will take one of those, pour the hot water back in a pan, heat it back up, pour it back into the container, and let them have that. That gives them the option of huddling around this hot water to keep warm and then getting away from it if it's too hot. Also, we're going to have 80 chicks in a much smaller space than what is recommended for chicks because we need our chicks to keep warm off of body heat. I will also be doing a deep litter method with these chicks, so they're going to start off with a few inches of pine shavings, wood chips, this mulch stuff that we've been creating in the bottom. And then throughout the day, I will spread more on top of their messes to keep them on clean bedding. But it is going to be a deep litter method to keep them clean. So that's what we're doing. We are taking our old rabbit tractor because our rabbit does have now moved to the colony setting. And our rabbit bucks are all in one rabbit tractor together. And so we have a free rabbit tractor. And it's going to be free until, you know, another 8 weeks or so until our next babies are born and then weaned. And so why not use it? We're going to use this for the first 2 weeks of life while they're in their brooding stage. And then we will move them to chicken tractors after that. Now the good thing about the cold brooding method is because chickens are more in a natural setting, they don't have all the artificial heat on them, they are more likely to feather out quicker. So by 2 weeks, our chicks have the chance of already being feathered out or being pretty close to it. Once they have their feathers, then they move to the chicken tractor. So about 2 weeks is when we're looking at. So this is our first ever rabbit tractor that we ever built, and we really, really love it as a rabbit tractor, so it will not stay a chicken tractor for long. But we're gonna work on converting this to an off-grid cold brooding chick brooder. I need to work on a smaller name for that. If you got any ideas what to call it, let me know. Anyways, we're cold brooding chicks in this.
It's just my brooder tractor.
Okay, I did my part. I got the rabbit water and the hay feeder out.
Is that in school helper? What's your 3?
Okay, step 1. Stripped it down. Step 2.
Have your wife do it.
Cover it up.
Whoa. It's something.
So this red here is actually the leftover we have from our rabbit colony roof over there. So we had extra from each and kind of saved it because we figured we need it for a project. And we do.
We got this out. We got this out. We got this out.
Yep, Daddy had to get the saw because these are too big. It's not on level, it's a tape measure.
I want tape measure.
You have to wait till Daddy's done.
I want it. Send me ball. Send me ball.
75? Hey Declan, can you show them your gloves?
Yeah. Relax.
Yeah?
Relax. What is this?
What are they?
A box. A box.
They're black? Are they mittens?
Mittens.
Y'all, I just want to say it's like 65 degrees out here. This kid was determined he was going to wear work gloves, and we can't find work gloves that fit him. They're all way, way, way too big. And so he put on his mittens this morning, and that's what he's been wearing. I mean, he wanted to help, and as long as he's not hot or uncomfortable, whatever, but I think it is so cute. But I wanted to let y'all know, yes, my child is out here in a beanie and mittens. No, it is not that cold. It's actually fairly warm in the sun. He chose it, so if he gets hot, he'll take them off.
I don't think it's going to go all the way through
Well, why don't we do half and half?
because I've already got it all stacked up here.
That last one, I don't think cut all. Oh,
It's open. Open it.
well, it cut about half of them.
Yeah.
So basically, this is what's gonna be on the sides. For airflow, if anybody's wondering, the bottom of this is wood slatted. It's not gonna have a solid bottom, just some pine shavings over it, so urine and stuff can still leak through. These won't sit all the way up against where the ridges are. There will be airflow there. And then along the roof, there's airflow, like I can stick my whole hand in there. And then the top will have airflow as well. So there will be ventilation without draft. That's the goal. And those y'all wondering what this stuff is, so I can focus. This is the Ondura Premium Panel in red that you get at Lowe's. It's made from organic fibers and asphalt. Okay.
We watch the movie.
Yeah, right now.
What Daddy doing?
What's Daddy doing?
The rock on there. He's doing open it.
Now these chicks will be outside chicks. This is not being brought into my RV. I had originally planned to brood the chicks inside, but the more I thought about it, I figured with a toddler and a dog inside and not a whole lot of space to keep them safe in, they're probably actually better off outside. Alright friends, while I am getting stuff out of the back of the truck to finish up this chicken brooder, I'm going to show you what I got Declan for his 3rd birthday, which is coming up next week. Now if you've been around our channel for any videos that show my child, then you will know that he is obsessed with tools, and he is obsessed with his daddy's tools, and you've probably seen it already in this video. So for his birthday, he's getting his own little tool set. I even got him a little basket from Dollar Tree to carry his tools in. So cute. So he's got this little mallet. He has like 4 plastic hammers, and I don't want him to get a real hammer just yet. So I thought this would be a nice compromise. Could still like hammer some things, and it's not a toy, but it's not the big leagues just yet. So this come from the Dollar Tree. These were like $1.25 a piece. If you don't know, the Dollar Tree raised their prices. Not very happy. But $1.25 each for these. Also picked him up a little level at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. And then some different colored clips. He likes to clip things together. He's really into clamps, but I couldn't find any clamps for a good deal that I would be okay with him breaking, because he is going to be 3, so he's going to break these things. So I got these. Got him his own little tape measure. He's so excited. An adjustable wrench. He loves wrenches. So he's going to really love this one. And then I got him his own set of Allen keys, which I think are super fun and are a good compromise for a screwdriver. Again, with the screwdriver, not really want him to have anything that he can scratch, paint, or anything with just yet. Maybe for his 4th birthday, but I think for his 3rd birthday, we're just going to take a baby step up, give him some more adult style tools, and let him see how he does with that. And then for his 4th birthday, if he can use these appropriately, then he'll get an actual hammer and a screwdriver set. I know people are probably thinking, you're going to get your 4-year-old a hammer and a screwdriver set? Yes! He loves to work on stuff. He loves tools. He loves to build things. He has so many toy tool sets. Like, everybody gets some toy tool sets because he loves them so much. This kid carries a hammer and a bolt with him to Walmart today. I don't ask, but that's what he's into, so that's what we're going with. And this is a great way to get him a more adult style set, more like his dad's, but on a cheaper level, because these are Walmart brand tools. And so they've got his own little carrying case. He can have a little spot for his level, and then he's got his tools and his wrench, or his measuring tape. So once I get all this out, it's going to look super cute. I am so excited to give this to him for his 3rd birthday. He is going to be thrilled. Now while I was at Dollar Tree also, I picked up seeds. Did y'all know Dollar Tree has seeds 4 for $1? This is crazy. I spent $1 on 4 packs of seeds. So I'm going to do a video coming up about how many seeds are in each pack, and then how many actually germinate. I'm going to plant the entire packs and see how many actually germinate and stuff. As soon as we get our raised beds in the ground, that's going to be like the first thing I plant. So if you want to see if Dollar Tree seeds can really hold up and if they're worth your money, make sure you are subscribed so you can watch that video in the future. Speaking of bolts and taking them to Walmart, his bolt ended up in the Walmart bag. So he's got little plastic bolts that go to one of his sets that actually have like blocks of wood with holes drilled out in them that they screw down into with a screwdriver and stuff. So it's pretty cute. But on to what we were doing. Let's finish this cold brooder chicken brooder. To finish this cold brooder chicken brooder up, what I need are 2 cardboard boxes, some Reflectix. This is like that stuff you put in your car windows to reflect the sun. We bought this in big rolls when you live in an RV. You can put this over your windows if you're in a really cold area, and it will help insulate your windows better because all RV windows are single pane and they let in a lot of cold air. So this kind of just helps buffer that. Here in South Carolina, we don't need it as much, so we've just had this setting in storage, and now I'm going to put it to use. Okay, so I bought these boxes, in full disclosure, from Walmart. I didn't have any that were like the brown cardboard because all of the ones that I have that are like this that aren't coated have been left outside because I'm really just going to use them in my garden bed.
Open the box.
I'm taping up the box. We're not opening, we're taping it, we're closing it.
You're closing it?
Yeah, that's for the chickens. They'll be here after your birthday. So we gotta wait on your birthday and then chickens. Birthday first.
Yay!
Hey, get out of my box. You're not a chicken. Hey, do you see this?
Chicken, but he's a ham.
You better get out of my box before you mess it up. Gotcha. So you're going to take and cut all of your flaps off, and what we're making is called a mother hen box. And basically it is an insulated box that your chicks can get into and huddle up in, and it will kind of hold their body heat in. So I'm just taping my seams up. You don't want like airflow or anything into a box. It's going to hold your heat in. That's not going to do you any good there. And I got grass all in it. And then I'm going to take the Reflectix and cut out. Excuse you, you're as bad as my child.
I am.
I'm going to take the Reflectix and cut out a portion that will fit inside the box on the roof.
Hey, but you love me.
He said no. And then I'm going to tape that in place. Okay, so it's just roughly taped in there. Now I'm going to also cut out some to go on the inside. I'm just showing you. That'll go on the sides. Okay, so here's my inside piece for my other box. I've got two boxes. I'm going to put one on each end of our chicken tractor because we're going to have so many chickens in here. We have 80 chickens coming at one time. I need more than one box because they're going to end up squishing each other. Now, obviously, I've never done this method before. We are new to homesteading. But I am going to document the whole thing on YouTube for y'all so people can see if it actually does work and what our death rate is if we have any.
It's right there.
Thank you.
Go.
So make sure you stay tuned if you want to see how this turns out. The wind's blowing my stuff away. Okay, almost done. So now the risk with doing the mother hen style boxes is that one of your chicks can get backed into a corner and they won't have an escape. Which, that's the risk with doing anything in your chicken brooder that has corners. So I just cut some scrap cardboard out of the one side right here that I didn't tape back. And I'm just going to tape these catty corner to round off those corners.
We got the box.
So, can y'all see where I just taped a piece of cardboard on here that kind of rounds it off? So over here, if you have one chicken that's backed up into this corner, 2 chickens can be in front of it and it can't get out. It's like stuck. But over here, if you have 1 chicken right here, and there's 2 chickens on either side of it, it can still get out because it's not completely closed off. So that's the theory behind rounding your corners. Alright, so there you go, guys. That is 1 mother hen box. I have 1 more that I'm going to do. So this box will set my chicken brooder. And the chickens can walk in here and more than 1 can get in and come out at a time. That's why it's so wide. I've seen people who do 1 hole here and then 1 hole over here, but I just like the 1 big hole. And then it's completely insulated on the inside with that Reflectix. I have also covered along the bottom that Reflectix with more cardboard so they're not pecking at the shiny stuff. And then I rounded my corners right here with extra cardboard. So no corners.
No corners?
Yeah, no corners. And that's where it'll sit. And then chickens can just walk in.
You got corners?
And it is actually warmer inside there than it is out here already. Now people actually recommend that your box is only like 6 inches high to hold in more heat. But I couldn't find a box that was that tall. So this is what we got. Alright, let's do the next one, buddy. So this rabbit tractor will have a thick layer of mulch on the bottom. And then I will have 1 mother hen box over there. And 1, yep.
We got chickens.
And 1 mother hen box over here. Okay, so I probably will actually just set them up like this. That way they're the most protected from the elements. And then there will be a hot water container or so, maybe 1 or 2 right here in the center. And then they can huddle around those to get heat, and then we'll have their food and water dishes along this wall. Now this is a very crowded space for 80 chicks, but they're only going to be in here for a very short time, and by the time they get big enough to really start causing a ruckus, they're going to be in their chicken tractor. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me today as I got our chicken brooder set up for our cold brooding. Stay tuned, subscribe, all that jazz, so that you can see when our chicks come in, and then follow along the progress to see how they do. Now we're going to start off with 80 chicks that are coming from Murray McMurray Hatchery, and then we are also buying some chicks from a local feed store because Murray McMurray did not have the Americanas that I wanted and the other layer chicks when I ordered. So those will come later. 80 will go in here first though. So we'll start out with 80 chicks in this 1 brooder and see how that does and see how they make it. So I do expect some chick losses. Everybody expects losses when they get baby chicks, but we expect a little bit more losses just because of the setup we're doing. Chicks these days, along with other livestock, have been bred to, I don't want to really say be pampered, but they have. And so they're not used to a more natural setting. In fact, a lot of chicks won't even go breedy anymore because it's been bred out of them. So our goal is to put them through this lifestyle. The strongest will survive. From those we'll raise up. We'll have some of our layers and our meat birds. Our layers we will keep breeding to have more meat birds in the future. We are doing Rhode Island Reds and New Jersey Giants are what we ordered from Murray McMurray. And then those are going to be dual purpose breeds for us. We'll get some additional layers that are just strictly layers, but those are the 2 we've got for dual purpose. And our goal is to get the strongest who survive and the biggest who survive, and those are what we're going to keep breeding till we get back to a more natural flock where our hens go broody and raise all their own chicks. This is a temporary brooder. It's only set up to get us going. And then once we get going and we get our chicks to maturity, we're done. We want all of our chicks to be raised by mama hens, not by us. I hope y'all enjoyed hanging out with me today as I set up our cold brooder system. And I hope you will stay tuned to see how our chicks do in this cold brooder system and how many of the 80 survive. Now, one thing I do want to set forth with the cold brooder system, it is way more hands-on than if you use a brooder plate or a heat lamp that regulates the temperature. With this, I am going to have to check these chicks pretty regular. During the daytime, I will probably peek on them at least once every hour, and then I will get up probably every 4 hours through the night, so about halfway through my sleep time, to check on them and make sure they've got warm water and they can stay warm for those first few days, and then I will slowly slack off. But those first few days, probably the first 3 days, are going to be super critical to see how many can adapt to the system, and I'm going to have to keep a close eye on them to give them the best chance possible. So I will bring you along for that process, so make sure you're staying tuned for that, and we will see how it goes. Fingers crossed that this system that I have been researching will work really well for us. We'll see y'all next time, friends. Make sure you're subscribed, you're liked, and all that fun stuff if you want to see how this goes and how it turns out for a chick. I'll see y'all later. Bye now.